We have a track record. We have a track record. We walk KK's path, and we work hard to maintain that integrity KK set up for us. We are the housing for refugees. All our neighbors, many of whom have become presidents, were housed here. Our credentials are clear. So citizens must not look at short-term political gain in order to create conflict for our citizens. No. You are in the wrong lane. You are driving on the opposite direction, and the traffic controllers will ask you to drive in the right direction. Yeah? Madam Speaker, this foreign policy is good for us to maintain peace and stability and drive investments, local, regional, and international, for the benefit of our people. Madam Speaker, what we have achieved in debt restructuring, many do not realize the value that will accrue to this. But very soon, they will see the value. Very soon. When you see so much attraction for investment in this country, Madam Speaker, it's the result of the efforts of this government in the last 2 years. Burning the midnight candle, networking, reaching out to those that are being demonized. And one wonders, why did you go and borrow from people you don't like? And you left the debt. You should have cleaned it up before you left. Now, we have to talk to them for them to come to the table. I don't understand the wisdom that our people are using. Don't talk to these imperialists in debt restructuring. But you are the one who went to the imperialists to borrow the money. So what are you saying now? You were saying you were sleeping on duty. The world needs... Madam Speaker, calling each other names when we are solving a problem created by colleagues, and the names are being called by those who created the problem, is not logic. It is not normal. It is called an abnormality. That's what we call it. Madam Speaker, on this score, if there's a subject we needed the country and this House to work together, was on debt restructuring. To support the Minister of Finance and National Planning and his team. That's what we needed. We didn't get it. Maybe there's a lesson there to learn.
It's a lovely morning. Thank you for joining us once again for live parliamentary proceedings, taking the air at 9 hours. On live commentary, I'm Claudette Dazajon.
Good morning. My name is Taza Piri, and we are joined by Jason Manda and Chola Kauma on sign language interpretation. We go straight into business that was considered on the floor of the House yesterday.
Yesterday, Thursday, 21st September 2023, Madam Speaker did make an announcement in which he recognized the presence in the public gallery of pupils and teachers from St. Edmund's Secondary School in Mazabuka district. Madam Speaker, on behalf of the National Assembly of Zambia, warmly welcomed the guests to the National Assembly.
Thereafter, the House went on to consider matters of urgent public importance. The following matters of urgent public importance under Standing Order 134 were raised. The first one did come from Mr. Emmanuel J. Banda, who is Petauke Member of Parliament, and that's on the untimely death of Mr. John Pin Piri of Petauke Central Parliamentary Constituency. And Madam Speaker's remarks were that this matter was inadmissible.
In the other urgent matter of public importance, it came from Mr. Chisopa on the failure by the Minister of Energy to avail to the House who the middlemen in the fuel supply chain are, and this urgent public matter of importance was inadmissible.
And thereafter, a ministerial statement was rendered by the Minister of Tourism, and the ministerial statement was on the human wildlife animal conflict in Chivale Chiefdom of Chama North Parliamentary Constituency, following a directive by Madam Speaker on a matter of urgent public importance raised by Mr. Yotam Mtayachalo on 15th September 2023. The Minister briefed the House on the measures being taken to safeguard the lives of the people.
After that ministerial statement, the House went on to consider questions for oral answer numbers 40 to 43, understanding order number 24, and the was resumption of debate on thanks His Excellency the President's address, that the thanks of this assembly be recorded for the exposition of public policy content in the President's address, a motion moved by Mwandi MP, Mr. Sibeso Sefulo, and the House yesterday adjourned accordingly at 18:20 hours. Join us momentarily as we look at today's business.
We now take a look at business that is expected to be considered today, Friday, 22nd September 2023. Today being a Friday, we do expect Her Honor the Vice President's question time, which takes about 45 minutes to be considered.
This segment actually accords members of Parliament an opportunity to ask Her Honor the Vice President questions without notice. After that segment, the House will go on to consider two questions for oral answer, understanding order number 74. Question 44 will come from Mr. E. Daka Msanzala, lawmaker. He will ask the Minister of Fisheries and Livestock whether the government has any plans to revamp the enhanced smallholder livestock investment program. If so, when the plans will be implemented, how many farmers countrywide will benefit from the program, how much money will be allocated towards revamping the program, and lastly, if there are no such plans, why?
And question 45 will come from Mr. Chinga Miyutu, who is Kalabo Central Member of Parliament, and is expected to ask the Minister of Fisheries and Livestock how many deep tanks and spray races there were in Kalabo District as of August 2023, whether there are any plans to construct additional deep tanks and spray races in the district, and in C, if so, when the plans will be implemented, and if there are no such plans, why?
After consideration of those questions for oral answer, understanding order number 74, we do expect Mr. Chabinga to move a motion that the House to adopt the report of the Parliamentary Select Committee appointed to scrutinize the presidential appointment of Mr. Roy Ngulube to serve as a clerk of the National Assembly, Dr. Pamela Towela Sambo, Dr. Felicity Kayumba Kalunga, Mrs. Panik Malao Chilufya, and Father Joseph Koma to serve as chairperson, vice chairperson, and commissioners of the Human Rights Commission respectively, and Dr. Tommy Susiku Namitondo to serve as commissioner of the Anti-Corruption Commission for the third session of the 13th National Assembly, laid on the table of the House on Thursday, 21st September 2023.
And thereafter, we expect resumption of debate on the motion of thanks. This is a motion that was moved on 13th September 2023 by Mwandi Member of Parliament, Ms. Sibeso Sefulo, that the thanks of this assembly be recorded for the exposition of public policy contained in the President's address.
So there you have it. That's the business that's going to be considered on the floor of the House today, Friday, 22nd September 2023. We sure hope you're going to stay with us until adjournment. We do have Honor the Vice President's question time. Honor the Vice President, I must mention, is already in the chamber. We also expect the House to consider two questions for oral answer, understanding order number 74. And of course, a motion that will be moved by Mr. Chabinga to adopt the report of the Parliamentary Select Committee and resumption of debate on France His Excellency the President's address. You must mention that next week we'll see some ministers actually adding their voice to this particular motion, which is expected to come to an end in terms of debating sometime next week. And so, in a few minutes from now, we do expect the Speaker's procession to make its way into the chamber, and that will signify the start of business for today. And of course, at adjournment, we'll be back to just have a recap of business that will have been transacted on the floor of the House. Just about now, we interest you to what's happening in the chamber as we await for the Speaker's procession. Good morning.
Honorable members of Parliament, Madam Speaker,